think we need a Children's Bill of Rights in SLO County because we need to elevate the conversation in our community about how we can all work together as a village to really serve the needs of our children.
I think it's a step forward from the original Bill of Rights, which talked about individuals' rights within our government. And as we've progressed in our country, I think we've come to a realization that our greatest resource is our young people. And so the purpose of the Bill of Rights is to emphasize the priority that we need to put on nurturing, educating, keeping our young children healthy.
The one common feature is that it's about protecting those in our community who are the most vulnerable, namely our children, who are the youngest among us. They don't vote. And so Children's Bill of Rights gives us as a community an opportunity to articulate with and for and on behalf of those youngest members of our community.
First 5, the Children and Families Commission of San Luis Obispo County took the lead in creating the Children's Bill of Rights, together with many county-wide community partners and children's advocates. The participants began a discussion of what a Children's Bill of Rights would look like for San Luis Obispo County. The collaborative meetings also included the young.
I think it was wonderfully empowering for youth to be engaged in the process of developing these rights. They really got the chance to speak up about what they're concerned about and gave us a perspective that we as adults oftentimes forget.
You know, having the children was one of the best components of creating this Bill of Rights because they're so authentic and it comes from their heart, and they really were able to easily focus in and give us feedback to what they felt their needs were and their rights should be.
Well, I was honored to be a part of the Children's Bill of Rights because I felt like my voice was finally being heard, and that to even have one, that's amazing, and that they included the young people, I think that was just really cool.
The Children's Bill of Rights has value statements that support children from birth across the spectrum to age 18. The statements are designed to guide actions that enable children to thrive, realize their potential, and reach for their dreams. The Children's Bill of Rights also encourages adults to support children in the shadows who need a voice, children who do not have basic needs met, live in unsafe or unhealthy situations, and children who may not have enough to eat.
I was on the steering committee, and it was the most open, honest, raw emotions that we shared, all for the common goal of helping a child. It was amazing. I get choked up talking about it. It was an amazing morning of just how many people wanted to help and that were just exposing their feelings to strangers. One of the teenagers that was there's a beautiful young lady that spoke about she didn't want her drama class to get canceled due to budget cuts or whatever it was. And her reason was because her drama teacher kept food in the classroom and she did not have food at home for breakfast. So she appreciated the teacher so much because she gave her something to eat. And it just woke me up because I do not think that you should have to worry about where you're going to get your meal when you're in high school or youth. So just had an effect on me, and it just woke me up to, we're sheltered and there's things going on that we need to be aware of.
A young person said, we have a right to understand the rules, but that those need to be, first of all, fair, clear, consistent, and developmentally appropriate. As children grow into themselves.
One of the things that came up and we missed all the way until the very end was the concept of how important friends are to youth. And that we didn't have anything in there referencing, having a good friendship, having the opportunity to build relationships with their peers.
So many of the themes that came out in these conversations, even among different people, different ages, different regions, different socioeconomic, different ethnic background, everything, the core ideas for and about and by children are quite similar. Then that steering group came back together at the end of the summer and reflected on all this wonderful, rich body of work, ideas that had come out of those fall dialogues, and drafted what became 12 statements that I believe really reflect well the sentiments of these different conversations and people's perspectives.
I'm just so excited that we decided to go ahead and work on the Children's Bill of Rights. It's very personal and empowering for our community, and I personally embrace it wholeheartedly and am very enthusiastic that it will make a difference for our youngest citizens.
Our future depends on the ability of us as adults to be sure that our children live in a very safe, healthy, well-educated environment for their benefit and for the benefit of our nation.
I think it's easy to look at the Children's Bill of Rights and say, these are just words on the page. But what we have to do now is make a prescription for action. For instance, we say that children need to eat healthy and plentiful meals every day. Well, right now, children are 19% of our population, but they're 40% of the clients of the food bank. If we want all children to eat healthy and plentiful meals every day, we've got to get behind the food bank. We've got to start checking into our school nutrition programs and supporting them.
The Children's Bill of Rights gives a voice to the children. We all know that children are so important. We take responsibility for them, but we need a Bill of Rights to remind us on a daily basis that children do have a voice, that we're their voice, that we're the ones who need to speak for those who can't speak for themselves.
Children's Bill of Rights isn't a new concept. It's been around for a long, long time. Lots of different counties in California have their own Bill of Rights. The United Nations has its own Children's Bill of Rights. How a society treats its children is a true reflection on how it looks to its own future. I think it's wonderful that San Luis Obispo County has come together to create its own Children's Bill of Rights.
If we can find another avenue, another way to spread awareness that will help just one child, then we go for it, and it's worth the effort.
This is our first task, caring for our children.
It's our first job.
If we don't get that right,
we don't get anything right.
That's how, as a society,
we will be judged.